Hey everybody, it's Matt from You and Your Horror Movies, and welcome to day 3 of my 31 Days of Horror. Yes, a review a day for 31 days. That's right. So yeah, bringing you another film. This movie was released, I think it was last year, got an official release on physical media. But it was on the circuit for quite some time, and this is one film I've been wanting to get for quite a while, ever since I saw the artwork in a trailer. The trailer looked really interesting, so I'm like, oh, that looks cool. And then when I saw the artwork, I'm like, oh, I gotta have this film. Now, this movie was released by Fawn Distribution. Fawn Distribution is a company from Canada, so everything has to come from Canada. It's all region free, so you don't have to worry about that, but it just takes a little while to get here. But when it is, it's some good shit. So I'm bringing you the film Bed of the Dead. Yes. Look at that artwork. Isn't that same kind of reminds you like Evil Dead? So yeah, Bed of the Dead. Pretty much you have these two couples. They're going to a sex house. They want to have a party. They want to get drunk, alcohol, and pretty much have a orgy. So they all figured, let's go to the sex house. Well, they come to find out the sex house has all its rooms booked except for one. So they figured, well, can we have that one? And the lady behind the counter is like, no one can have that room. And they're like, come on. Slips them a couple Benjamins. It's like, hey, come on. She's like, okay, but don't tell my boss. You know, that kind of deal. So they get into this big-ass room. It's all dusty and the big-ass bed. So they figured, hey, all right, we got a big bed. No worry about room and everything. And they started, having their little party. And then they get on the bed. And, of course, they're starting, have a good time. But some hallucinations are starting to take effect. They don't know if it's the alcohol or the drugs, and the girls start losing their interest. And of course, there's a big buzzkill for the guys. So they just figured, let's just go to sleep. We'll get up in the morning and leave. Well, during the night, one of the guys wakes up and he sees a dog. He's like, wait a minute, that's my dog from when I was a kid. He's like, what? So he gets off the bed, starts going to the dog. Then all of a sudden, this unseen force just grabs him. And he starts screaming, he wakes everybody up, and he's pulled underneath the bed. And then all of a sudden, blood just starts pouring from underneath. So these 20-somethings or 30-somethings, how old they were, realize that this bed is cursed. They figured that if you get off this bed, you're dead. So they figured, well, we could just stay on the bed. Well, the bed has its own plans. It gives you these hallucinations to pretty much of stuff maybe you've done in the past that wasn't good, to trick you, to get you off the bed. And then when it gets you off, you just die. And you die in very gruesome, insane ways, which I thought was pretty badass. It also kind of puts you in a time freeze. These kids are stuck at a particular place in time. For some reason, when you watch this film, you're like, what? What's going on? Well, the time freeze, another patron comes in. He's all drunk. Touches the bed, and the girls are all screaming at him. And he doesn't see or hear them. And, of course, they can see him and see everything. Then they see his demise, and they're like, wait a minute. And they realize they're in a time loop. Or a time freeze, or whatever one is. So they got to figure out how to break this time freeze and get off this bed before they're dead. A lot of rhyming. And I mean it. So yeah, this is a film that's pretty cool. It's got a lot of good gruesome deaths. The storyline is a little weird, but once you figure out that time freeze, it plays well. This is a Canadian film. It's got some special features to it. Of course, it's in tiny writing, and my eyes are still waking up. You have, making of deathbed featurette. There is a little bit of a documentary based on Deathbed, the Bed That Eats, from the 1970s is on this. I think it's like a 12 to 14 minute little documentary. It explains how the movie from the 70s about a killer bed, Barry's dying, was made. So this is almost kind of like a little bit of a remake of Deathbed, but it's not. Because in Deathbed, the Bed That Eats deals with a demon. This one is about this bed that was carved out of this weird tree that was used as blood sacrifices back in the way back in the era. And yeah, that was kind of neat. Got this cool, almost like a tree of life insignia on the bed, but it plays a different symbol. So that symbol plays something. So this one's not pretty much a remake, but it is a killer bed. So now we're getting some more killer furniture films. I'm into it. Bring it on. But yeah, it's got some cool other featurettes. It's got the trailer in here. And that's pretty much it for special features. So yeah, comes with this cool kick-ass slipcover if you're into slips. And that's the regular Blu-ray. So again, I highly recommend checking out Deathbed. Bed of the Dead. See, I got Deathbed in my head. So if you want to check out Bed of the Dead, your best bet is to go through Black Fawn Distribution. They're a Canadian company releasing. They release some really cool flicks. Highly recommend checking them out. I think I have almost all their films. There's like maybe one or two that I'm missing. Maybe. I think there's a couple others that are out there that are out of print. But other than that, yeah. Bed of the Dead, I'm rambling. I need to get some lunch. Definitely check it out. I give this a rating. It's pretty much about a 7.5 to an 8 out of 10. It's got a lot of good blood, good storyline. Again, it's a little confusing, but once you figure out that time freeze, you're good to go. So definitely check out Bed of the Dead. Yeah. From Black Fawn Distribution, I want to say 2018. Alright guys, thanks very much for watching. And let me know your thoughts down below on this film if you've seen it. And again, stay tuned for more reviews coming up tomorrow. Peace.